The Feast of the Holy Family falls within the 8 days of the octave of Christmas, and it falls on the Sunday within the octave of Christmas, the first Sunday within the octave of Christmas. And this is something that can be used in children's liturgy, in Sunday school, and even in schools if you are addressing the feasts that fall within the octave of Christmas. So you need to gather together items that are going to be good for you. So you might have Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus. You might also have a young Jesus here, taken from the Gospel characters. You might have as a background a picture on the diorama box here, for example, of the Nativity, and also to be able to refer to the map when you can actually remind the students where Nazareth is and where Jerusalem is and where Bethlehem is. Don't have that little medallion there at the moment, but that's okay. So these things bring the things to life for the children. And the presentation would run a little bit like this. Well, as a core concept, this is what the teacher needs to have in mind. God made man entered the world in a family, in a specific time and place. And Jesus lived an ordinary or unremarkable life with Mary and Joseph in Nazareth for 30 years. Possibly less time with Joseph because he would have passed away by the time Jesus came to proclaim his mission. So you'd refer to the items that you have here. And this is the presentation. You know, on the Sunday within the octave of Christmas, the church honors the earthly family of Jesus. God entered the world through a family in a specific time and place. And the place was here. Bethlehem. That's where he was born. And the Holy Family had the same problems as any other family of that time and place. Joseph protected his family, and he provided for them through his work as a carpenter. Matthew chapter 13, Matthew tells us this about Jesus when he had grown up. For that, I'm going to show you another picture. This is after he'd been to the desert and been baptized by John the Baptist. Jesus went to preach in the synagogue of his own hometown. You can see him there. You might have a close look at this diorama box and study that very beautiful image. I'll just leave it here for now. So when he came back to his hometown and began to teach the people in their synagogue, they were astounded and said, "Where did this man get his wisdom and these deeds of power? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary?" So that's what Matthew records after Jesus had grown up and come back to his hometown. The Bible tells us that while living with his earthly family, Jesus increased in wisdom and in years, in divine and human favor. So here we have Jesus as a baby, Jesus growing up a little bit, and you might have another little figurine of Jesus being a little bit older to signify his growing up. In this family, he grew and learned the faith of his people. in human terms. Joseph and Mary taught Jesus to pray. Joseph took Jesus to the synagogue on the Sabbath day. Joseph and Mary also took Jesus to Jerusalem for the great feasts of the people of Israel. So they had to travel a fair distance for that. Back in the day, that would have been quite significant. So they had to travel from Nazareth all the way down to Jerusalem on those days. So celebrating the feast of the Holy Family is a time when we can ponder those daily lives of Jesus and Mary and Joseph at their home in Nazareth, because their family shows us the beauty of the family itself, our families. It can be an inspiration and is an inspiration to all families. The Holy Family of Nazareth is a model and a guide for every human family. The Holy Family teaches us how to communicate and pray to God. Mary and Joseph would have spoken often with their child, Jesus. It teaches us what a loving family is, and that is why, after Christmas, we're invited to remember and ponder this family so that we can learn from it. The Holy Family experience difficulties and hardships, and from them we can come to understand that despite defects and difficulties, families are called to live close to God. And this is where you can ask the children if there's anything that they would like to add or ask or wonder, as a kind of I wonder opportunity. And there are several closure possibilities you would need to select as appropriate from these ones that are suggested in the booklet or from other sources that you might find.